global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
Secretly plotting your demise. I want to devise a virus.
Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, covering an event or incident or accident that occurred today. And it is February 18th, 2010. And this the title of this article is "Man Angry at IRS Crashes Plane into Building." And this was in Austin, Texas today. And so it says a software engineer furious with the IRS launched a suicide attack on the agency Thursday by crashing his small plane into an office building containing nearly 200 IRS employees, setting off a raging fire that sent workers fleeing for their lives. And so far I heard a local news station saying that they actually don't have a body of the person, so they don't actually know it's even him. And the FBI said that they think that the guy it wasn't intentional. They may have had a heart attack or something. But either way, you don't know what it is yet. It's too soon to tell. It says at least one person in the building was missing. It says a federal law official identified the pilot as Joseph Stack and said investigators were looking at a long anti-government screed and farewell note that he apparently posted on the web earlier in the day as an explanation for what he was about to do. In it, the author cited run-ins with the IRS and ranted about the tax agency, government bailouts, and corporate America's thugs and plunderers. I've had all I can stand, he wrote in the note dated Thursday, adding, quote, I choose not to keep looking over my shoulder at Big Brother while he strips my carcass. It says Stack 53 also apparently set fire to his house about 6 miles from the crash site before embarking on the suicide flight, said two law enforcement officials who, like other authorities, spoke on condition of anonymity because the investigation was still ongoing. And so, yeah, the investigation's definitely still ongoing. So when they say, man, angry at IRS crashes plane in the building, that's a little presumptuous, right? But this is how mainstream media works. So, and I'm not saying that he didn't do it or it was another 9/11 type thing to demonize right-wingers or conservatives. It's just too soon to tell. But it will come out as far as the timeline, right? The time frame. 6 miles from the crash site, setting fire. I mean, it would make sense, right? If the guy was, if he was kind of angry at the IRS, that he would not want them to, have possession of the house and that, so he would do that. But, but getting on a plane and then flying off, you have to set your house on fire, and then you have to go to the airport. You have to do all the checks and pre-flight inspections, and you got to get cleared, and then go. And they said he didn't have a flight plan, but either way, yeah, you got to go from your house after you set it on fire, get to the airport, board your plane, get it up in the air, and go to wherever the crash site was. So there's going to be a timeline, hopefully, that will come out, and that will give us more information. And then it says he set fire to his house about 6 miles from the crash site before embarking on the suicide flight, said two law enforcement. It said the pilot took off in a single-engine Piper Cherokee from an airport in Georgetown, about 30 miles from Austin. So yeah, he was 30 miles from the crash site, and without filing a flight plan. Flew low over the Austin skyline before plowing into the side of the hulking 7-story black glass building just before 10 a.m. with a thunderous explosion that instantly stirred memories of course, September 11th. And we look at what this Piper P-28 Cherokee looks like, and this is it. That's the plane. It's got 2, 4, possibly 6 seats, but I'm thinking maybe 4 seats. I don't think they carry fuel in the wings, but I'm not positive on that. But this would be the engine, and of course this is where all the fuel would be, this much. So it's not, I don't think it has a capability of flying up to 450 miles, it said, but I really don't think it has the capability of for the amount of fuel that would be held right here. And here's, part of the wreckage. You saw the plane, how big it is. And it says the general characteristics, the length is about 23 feet long. And it says its wingspan is 30 feet. Here we go. Here's another shot of it. You can see it's all the way around that side, all the way on this side. It's not that big of a building, so it's 7 stories, but so it says the pilot took off in a single-engine Piper Cherokee from an airport in Georgetown, about 30 miles from Austin. Okay, stirred up memories of September 11th, which is great. And then, I'm being sarcastic there, it's not good, but flames shot from the building. Windows exploded. A huge pillar of black smoke rose over the city, and terrified workers scrambled to safety. The Pentagon scrambled 2 F-16 jets from Houston to patrol the skies over the burning building. And this is a good point, obviously, because NORAD, usually these jets, they're off. They don't file a flight plan. They're a little bit off. They put jets up in the air right before something like this even happens. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that NORAD had them stand down, but like September 11th, where were they when it happened? They were told, fly low and slow and do all that good stuff. And so after this happened, then they put up the jets up in the air to patrol the skies. It became clear that the act of a lone pilot, and President Obama was briefed on the crash. It says, "I felt like a bomb blew off," said Peggy Walker, an IRS revenue officer who was sitting at her desk. The ceiling caved in, and windows blew in. We got up and ran. So it says, "I felt like a bomb blew off." Stack was presumed dead, at least. At least one person who worked in the building was unaccounted for, and 2 people were hospitalized. Fire officials said about 190 IRS employees work in the building. So I guess, I'm not saying this is that is bad, but I guess so far nobody died and 2 were hospitalized, and there's 190. It says Gary Cullen was eating breakfast at the restaurant across the street when the plane struck the building and vanished in a fireball. Matt Farney, who was in the parking lot of a nearby Home Depot, said he saw a low-flying plane. There were some apartments in the office building just before it crashed. "I figured it was going to buzz the apartments, or he was showing off." Farney said it was insane. It didn't look like he was out of control or anything. Sitting at her desk in another building a half mile from the crash, Michelle Sanabanes said she felt vibrations from the crash. She and her coworkers ran to the windows where they witnessed a scene that reminded them of 9/11. It was the same kind of scenario, with the windows panels falling out and desks falling out and paperwork flying. The building, situated in a heavily congested area of Austin, was still smoldering with 6 hours of the crash, with much of the damage on the second and third floors. The entire outside of the second floor was gone on the side of the building where the plane hit. Support beams were bent inward, ventilation blinds dangled from the blown out windows, and a large section of the exterior were blackened with soot. Andrew Jacobson, an IRS revenue officer who was on the second floor when the plane hit with a big whoomp and then the second explosion, said about 6 people couldn't use the stairwell because of smoke and debris. He said the FBI was investigating the National Transportation Safety Board and sent an investigation as well. Said in a long, rambling, and self-described rant that Stack apparently posted on the internet, he began, "If you're reading this, you're no doubt asking yourself, why did this have to happen?" And he said he detailed his financial reverses, his difficulty finding work in Austin, and at least 2 clashes with the IRS. One of them after he filed no return because he said he had no income. The other after he filed to report his wife's income. So, yeah, come and check this out. He said he rallied against politicians, the Catholic Church, the unthinkable atrocities committed by big businesses, and the government bailouts. He said he slowly came to the conclusion that violence not only is the answer, but the only answer. So there you go, everyone. That's kind of on the gist of it, and please come check this out. I'm going to try to cover some more. We'll see what happened. Thanks.